Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be back with another young Indian, smiling face as always. Right now, we have with us Pranav Pandey. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Pranav.
Hi everyone, my name is Pranav Pandey. Firstly, to start with, I would like to thank Subodh sir for providing me this opportunity. He thought that I would be providing some value to this. Okay, so I'll start off with a brief introduction about myself. Currently, I'm pursuing BCom program from Shaheed Bhagat Singh Evening College, University of Delhi, and I'm exploring the world of consulting as a career opportunity. In past, I have founded a company that was named Dawnknight. It was India's first PC cabinet manufacturing company. So I do have a little bit experience in entrepreneurship. And that is what I'm more interested in talking here. And yeah, so let's start with that. I would like to share a experience which I had during this. I started the company back in 2021. And that time I was about 16 years old, and it was quite an experience for me because I have always been that kid who likes to, just go out and try out things and see how things pan out and, just learn from these things. I tend to, just do experiments and then, and then focus upon what the result was and then try to make something out of it. So it was more of a passion project for me because I have always been a fan of games, PC games in general, and PC hardware, if you look at it. And I got the opportunity to do something in that particular field, so I went ahead and did it. And I had a couple of learnings from that experience, which I want to just share here. And one of that was that if you really want to be an entrepreneur, then you should focus a little upon, speculating things before getting into something. Because at that time I was quite young, so I wasn't sure if I should really do it or not. And later on, I realized that was not the best, business idea to begin with. Because since I was very passionate about PC hardware, that was my go-to instinct. Yeah, this sounds fun. I should do this. But then later on, as I tried to build a business out of it in that particular industry, I realized no, this shouldn't be what I should be doing. And and I realized that everyone should do a little research about things before getting into beforehand, and then we should invest our time. I spent couple of years, like I gave 2 years to that company, and we reached certain heights. We were the first one to do it in India. Then we presented at the Indian Gaming Show, which is supposed to be the biggest expo, a gaming expo in India. We reached that height. We partnered up with Intel in the while being, and we did a couple of good stuff, but then we realized that this is not a great business to be in. And even today as well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm exploring the world of consulting, and the reason for that is I believe I aspire to be an entrepreneur in future, and I feel like I figured out this thing that if I'm somewhere associated with different companies, and which I feel like consulting would be able to provide me a platform for, then I'll be able to figure things out at a much larger scale. Because ultimately, to me, I feel like it's all about how much you can explore, how much idea you have of different industries, of different varieties, and that is where the opportunity lies. Because when you're looking at 10 different things, then you tend to, find the gap that this thing missing. Then you can bridge that gap and you can tend to make a product out of it. So yeah, that would be it from my side.
That's very brief. Tell us a bit more about what you are up to, what you would ultimately aim to produce, or what is your goal? How does it look to you? You've already had one venture, so what's the future?
Currently, I'm a bit into social entrepreneurship. Currently, I'm serving as a vice president of Enactus at my college, Enactus chapter of my college, and I feel like social consciousness is something that is very much needed in today's time. And I'm currently looking at the garbage disposal industry in India, particularly, and I have seen that there is something which can be done because in India you see the recycling industry. It's quite unorganized. That there's this guy with a cart. He comes to your house and he says, if you have something, you can just hand it over to me, and he takes it. And then they don't really. Then I believe that the particular value chain, if you look at it, is not very organized and it is very disoriented. And I believe I can do something in that field. And I'm still figuring out. I'm talking to people, to get to know the industry, because as I mentioned earlier, knowing the industry is very important, because you go in, you invest couple of years in, and then you realize this isn't what I wanted to do, or this wasn't feasible to do at the first place. So that is what I'm up to currently. And in the meanwhile, professionally, I would like to, take that up. Currently, I have interned at Grant Thornton. It's in the business consulting team. That is something which I want to take further, because I want to, cushion these things with something. I need to build a cushion for that, so that I have some sense of security with me, that I believe a job would do for me for the time being. And in the meanwhile, I'm exploring different opportunities, and the mindset here is to do something which will create some impact, in a sense, not just monetary terms of impact, but it would create some amount of social impact. It would make anyone's life better.
Okay. All right. But tell me a little bit about this evening college. What exactly is evening college?
So Shaheed Bhagat Singh, basically this college was Shaheed Bhagat Singh Evening College, if I talk about it. In back in the 70s, it was only for professionals who were, working professional, who wanted to do some other degrees, who wanted to pursue something at the same time. So this college was available for them only. But later on, it was converted to a regular college, just like the Bhagat Singh Morning College. So there are basically two shifts. The building is same, everything is same. But there are two shifts. One is the morning shift, and which runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then there's this evening shift which runs from 3 p.m. to up to 8 to 9. So it's the same building is same, but there are two different colleges. The principal currently is the same, but the faculty is different. And it earlier it was more oriented for those who did not really had time in the morning, who could not come, who were pursuing some other goals, and they wanted to continue with their education as well. But in today's time, people can opt, normal students can opt for it too.
So did you choose the evening or that was the only choice you had?
So basically, when you try to take admission in DU, so it's like they have a portal, CSAS portal. So that is how the allocation goes. You have to just fill out a preference sheet. So it was in my preference sheet, but it was not the first preference, I must say. But then again, I made a silly mistake while filling out my preference sheet, and that landed me here. And yeah, that's that.
And how's it for you in the evening classes?
I think it's a bit different, because since everybody else's clock is running a bit timely, they get up at 8, they get up at 5 or 6, they go to college at 8, then they have their full routine on, and it's very different for me, because everything runs 6 hour delay. There's a 6 hour delay in my routine, so that gets very hectic when I have to coordinate with someone who has a right routine according to everything. Yeah, but rest is good.
But do you get to meet those daytime students or it's two separate groups?
You can interact, but then again, that is up to yourself. Like if I have the ability to just spark up a conversation with someone randomly sitting around, then yeah, I can definitely interact with them. But there is no common point as such. Like it's just that if you find someone sitting next to a bench, and you just go to them and like, hi, how are you, then you can have a conversation. But there is no foundation or anything, combining, bridging them.
And how's your family with all this? Your entrepreneurship and all this?
They have always been quite supportive, actually. My mother and father, they have always been like, yeah, figure something out. Just because I from the very beginning, I had this tendency of trying things out. Even if they suggest me something, I'll go and do the opposite, and then I'll figure out, oh, whatever they said was correct. So they have realized that it's a habit of mine, so they don't intervene with that, and
All right.
they're quite supportive.
Okay. So, do you see yourself doing more education after your bachelor's, or that will be enough?
Honestly, at this point, I'm not really sure, because if as I mentioned, I'm currently exploring few opportunities. So if I manage to get to a level, if I get some amount of clarity that yeah, this is the industry, this is what I want to pursue further, this is where I want to build something, then I don't think I'll be going for masters as of now. And if there isn't some clarity, if there's lack of clarity, then I believe I might go for masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think that there's been some particular person who supported you a lot in moving ahead and where you are, or is it all your own doing?
I feel like my mother has always got my back because I come from a tier three, not exactly tier three. It's a tier four town, I should say. It's a small district, Sultanpur in Uttar Pradesh. So the surrounding here is very conservative. So I remember my mother got me a broadband connection at a very early stage and a laptop, and that has done wonder for me because I was able to explore things out. And I was able to, just go out on the internet and check if something is cooking, and then that enabled me to think further. That has, always empowered me in a sense. And it was actually quite discouraged as well in the family. So when I think this is about 2014, 15, when I got the laptop, my some of my relatives were like, "Yeah, don't do this. He will just play video games all the time." And then my mother was like, "No, this is something which he should have," and that enabled me to, explore different thing at a very, very young age.
You do with that laptop and that broadband?
Yeah. Sorry.
What did you do with it? Did you use it wisely or did you just play video games?
I feel like I did kind of both, but in the meanwhile, things just connected so well, and I was able to, explore the other side as well. As mentioned earlier, I have always been a fan of computer hardware. I've always been very passionate about it. I've been following Nvidia from 2016, 17, I guess, when the 10 series GPUs were launched. I used to explore in this. I used to hang out with communities. I was on Discord very early before it became popular in its initial days. I think it was 2016. That enabled me to reach communities since I was very passionate about it. So people used to have this respect about me or whatever. It became a sense of identity for me. So that enabled me to enter communities. For example, there's this guy who's building something in Bangalore, and he needs some consultation for his system requirements. So he used to just connect with me on Discord, and then I used to tell them, yeah, this is what you can go with. And in return, I built connections, and that is something which helped me a lot later on. So yeah, there was both things involved. I did utilize it, and in the meanwhile, I used to play lots of games.
Video games. Which video game was your favorite?
Counter Strike, that has to be the one.
Is it a violent game, a strategy game? What is it?
It's a 5v5. I think violent is not the right word for it. But yeah, it's a strategy team building game. You have a team of five people against five people, then you have to strategize, and then there's a lot of communication involved. So you get to understand people and you meet new people, and it's very fun.
Okay, okay. I take your word for it. It's not like I'm about to go out and play it. Okay. I wouldn't know what to do. A
I think you
generation
should
gap.
try. You
Generation gap. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Can't play those games. Anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and you know, I've heard that strategy games actually are quite educational.
Yep, they are.
They are quite educational, and I'm certainly not against educational as strategy games because you are thinking in real time. So that's good.
Yes.
There's a particular critical thinking in real time that even your college education cannot give you. So you need that because you have to also uh, think of what it's like playing chess. You have to think what the other person will do and then try to preempt that before the other person does that. So it's a complicated logical thinking and it's very fast. So I'm glad that you did play those games.
I
And
think that's the purpose behind it because it puts you in a situation, and human tend to learn from situational outcomes, and it puts you in that situation where you have to think about something in just point 10 seconds, and then you have to act upon it. So you get habitual of it, and that tendency helps you a lot in life.
okay. All right. Anything else you want to add here?
No, I think this would be it for my side.
All right, good. So then let's end it here, Pranav, and I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon.